And from what you saw from Argentina and their aggression in the set piece, is that potentially a good template, a good example for how you can play against France this weekend?
Yeah, definitely. If against France, if you will not play aggressive game and big pressure on a collision, if you will give a space that team, they are one of the best in the world. That's why Argentinian focus was on a collision, and that's why they tried to give more pressure from set piece and for one-on-one battles.
You personally yourself, you had suffered from COVID-19 this summer. How do you feel now?
Yeah, I'm feeling very well. My recovery was good. I played. I tried to work at franchise team at Xavi Lomi. All that recovery period was very good for me, and I'm very happy to be part of the team who has a good opportunity to good games on November.
You only got 2 games this November because the match against Samoa was cancelled. How frustrating is it that you haven't been able to have 3 games, a game every weekend for the whole?
Yeah, that's a big shame for us because first thing is a play before the France would be very good, but also when you have 2 games, it's too difficult. You have to call as minimum 33, 32 players, and sometimes it's difficult to give a game time for everyone when you have 2 games. On the 3 games, you can spread it. That's also a big issue. But what you can do, nothing. We tried.
One last question from me. You'll play Fiji in Madrid next weekend. Why is the game in Madrid and not in Tbilisi, maybe?
That was because of pandemic situation. We were at red zone, and one of the reason was that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next question, please.
Yes, hi. I have a question for Merab. Maybe in French, is it possible, Merab?
Ouais, tous les deux, mais je préfère anglais, s'il vous plaît, si c'est possible.
You prefer en anglais? Oh, okay. Is it a special game for you? Because a lot of players live in France. You spend a long time in France. And is it special to
Of course, yeah, the game is very special. This game means a lot to us. Obviously, it's a good test. It's a good opportunity for us to prove the French supporters that we are good players.
But you never beat a tier 1 country in the history. You think that day is gonna arrive?
Obviously, we hope that this day is gonna arrive, but obviously it's not that easy. We need to grow to that, and every game we play, we look at that as an opportunity to prove ourselves and obviously to win the game. So this game we'll be trying to do our best, and maybe the result will be what we are looking for.
And maybe what do you expect of this game against France?
Well, first of all, we expect a good game, a game that supporters and us, a game that will enjoy everybody. Then we expect a good challenge, obviously, and then we expect experience that we take and will use in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi. As you would say, a lot of your players play in the French leagues. How can it help to get these insights from how the French play?
The question too?
How can it help having a lot of your players playing in the French leagues?
So this question is for head coach or captain?
For the head coach, yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
A lot of your players play in the French leagues. How can it help you to get that insight?
Okay, thank you. Benim universitar, andando the best.
Yeah, definitely. If player has enough playing time, it's very good for us. Our players are playing at a good level at top 14. A lot of them, they have enough game times that helps for development of players. Also, they know very well what's strength side of French teams, what's a weak side. Anyway, it's good for us, but we need more game time for our players, not only be part of the teams, and as much they will play at their domestic clubs, it will be much better for us.
And Georgia have played France only once in history. I don't know if I'm wrong or not. In 2007, how much progress has been made since then?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. After that, we had a good opportunity to play against the tier 1 countries. I think from that time we improved our game, our players, our team.
And what can be made to go a step even higher? There are talks about Georgia joining the Six Nations one day. Is this something you would like, or?
Maybe one day, but we need more opportunity to play against the tier 1 countries. Why not? But that moments, we need the time, we need more opportunity, and we will show what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, if I can come in and ask a question. Nick Heath here. I'm the English language commentator this weekend for TV. Hi, Levan. Hi, Merab. Levan, I wanted to ask, we constantly hear that tier 2 nations, the likes of Georgia, these countries will be competitive, be physical, stay in the game until 60 minutes, but then the tier 1 countries will dominate in the last 20 minutes. How do you feel about that? Whether you still think that's true these days, given so many Georgian players are playing in France and in other high-level competitions? Do you still think that there is this disparity, this difference in energy and conditioning between teams like France and Georgia?
Yeah, I don't think it's only endurance from physical point. It's experience to play on a big level. If you compare tier 1 countries and tier 2 countries, for example, our game, we have opportunity to play against the tier 1 countries at summer and at November. And if you see how is a big in the gap between that games, sometimes it's a 7 months, sometimes it's a 8 months. That's the biggest issue for us. It's absolutely be at a different level. That's the intensity of game. That's a the number of games. That's all that determining us. And also, we are talking about our players who played at France. Yes, a lot of Georgian players played at France, but not all of them. They played in a top level, and that's are approximately 20% of who has enough game time and who are at the big teams. If you see, we have approximately 60% in our squad, 60% of legionnaires and 40% of from domestic from our franchise team. I think that's a reason how when tier 2 countries cannot stay on a game whole time, and they're sometimes losing in the last 10 and last 20 minutes. That's the experience. That's the experience.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And Merab, we are used to the Georgians being renowned for their physicality, renowned for the famous dominance up front. What else do you want to see a Georgian team known for? What do you want to show people on the field from your team this weekend?
Well, obviously we want to not only be physical, but we also want to play good rugby, quality rugby. We want to score some points, and we want to have the game that everybody would love to watch.
Are there other parts of what you want Georgian rugby to be like that you would like to see as
generally, yeah. Well, if you're talking generally, obviously we want to not be known just for forwards. We want to be known as a team and as a backline players as well. We want to whole world recognize us as good rugby players and not just good rugby forwards.
Mm. And how do you think that changed?
It changes by the time. Obviously, it needs time, and it's not going to happen just like one day or 2 days. But I think slightly it changes as time goes on.
Cool. Thank you both.